Hello everyone, Derek Sam Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today, we've got a duo, a 2-in-1 action figure review for you as well. AKA, it's not a 2-pack like the last review, but we've got two men who team together nonetheless, two first time in the lines as well. We've got Tomma Tonga, we've got Tonga Loa, we've got the Tongans here in the collection finally. Well, I've had these for like about almost a week now, but sadly I have not really had my setup going, as I did mention in the last video. Still waiting for my Jacob Fatu, as I did pre-order that motherfucker. I'm still waiting for him. I would love to have the Cena as well, but can't complain too much here. At least I have Tomma Tonga and Tonga Loa finally in the collections. Two goats in their own right, I guess you could say. But yeah, why don't we shut the hell up and we can get into this duo action figure review now. Well, alrighty you guys, now that we've got the Tongans, or the Gorillas of Destiny, out of their plastic prison, we can go over them and their accessories. And of course, first things first, we're going to go over the accessories, so why don't we do that? We of course got two different sets of hands for both men, and we have their entrance accessory, their plastic vest, aka their hard rubber vest. Though I do like Tomma Tonga's compared to Tonga Loa's. We'll get into that when we get into those, but of course, both men come with a set of pointer fingers to throw up their ones for their tribal chief Solo Sikoa, I guess you could say, or maybe secretly they're gonna align with Roman Reigns at some point. Who knows? I don't. Sadly, I don't write TV for WWE. And of course, we've got a set of mic holding / weapon holding hands. We just saw all the ones for Tomma Tonga. And the ones for Tonga Loa, I want to say these are the same scope that the Solo Sikoa has. So I'm not exactly too sure there, but they do definitely look nice. And I can't really complain about these at all. I'm definitely excited to be able to use both of these men, though there is a little bit of a gripe that I'm going to have with the Tonga Loa, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But if you can tell, the Tomma Tonga vest is not as hard of a material, so it's actually quite flexible. I can actually dig that. You've got all the nice red markings all over it as well. It's nicely sculpted, so you've got some nice details in there. All around, not too bad of an accessory. Wish we could have maybe gotten something a little bit more, but what else would we have really gotten? And then with the Tomma Tonga, the Tonga Loa accessory, it's a little bit plain Jane, just got the red T on there. Yeah, it's got some sculpting in there too, but it's a little bit more of a harder rubber, so it definitely is not as flexible. And also, I'm sure you may have been able to tell, but mine's a little bit warped because they didn't have it on properly in the packaging. Whoops, I just knocked over a cassette tape over here, or well, VCR tape, not a cassette tape. What the fuck am I on? But yeah, not a terrible accessory. Thankfully it's sleeveless, but nonetheless we can just cut that out and we can get into both of these figures themselves. And since, you know, we have the gripe with the Tonga Loa, we will get into his figure first. Mind you, everything poses fairly well for the most part, but ooh, I can't get this torso to twist. That's kind of odd. Hold on here for a second. I'm just gonna put you all down, because I might be able to get this on my own. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, that was glued on there pretty well. But at least now it twists, and it will probably be loose as shit once that glue rubs off. But yeah, you know, Tonga Loa's formula is not too bad. I'm definitely digging the way they did his formula here. The double elbow seems to be working quite well for what it's used for. So, if he's got his glove on there, he can pick his nose and wipe it on his tights and not have to worry about it getting on his finger. Of course, you might want to check out that other elbow, because God forbid there's any other issues with this Tonga Loa. But you can see his right leg kicks pretty well. But the left one here, bucko, well, I might have to do a little bit of hot water treatment, because it is not kicking as well as it should. But honestly, I can't really hate on this figure so far. I think the formula is well. I love how they sculpted the belt up here, so there's actually a little bit of texture here on the crotch piece. Got the red tight designs, and then it's fairly basic from there on out, just black knee pads and black kick pads. Nothing too special about this attire, but of course the main thing I want to talk about is this crazed out head scan now that we've got over the little bit of the grapes. I love how they got the fade in on here. I love the way the hair looks, and I love how this head scan is like bugged the fuck out. It looks like he just did like a line of coke or some shit. I don't know, definitely don't be doing drugs, kids. But he just looks geeked the hell out, and I honestly absolutely love it. Though I wish we could have also gotten a straight face. That's fine, because the straight face comes over here on this Tomma Tonga with sadly a slightly big ass forehead. I don't know if that's very accurate or not, but I do like the way this Tomma Tonga head scan is. I can't complain too much about it. His beard is looking quite nice. Same thing with Tonga Loa, but Tomma Tonga's beard looking quite nice. And his formula, I think the chest is fine. If I'm going to be realistic there, like the body is fine. The arms could have been a little bit bigger though, but maybe that's just me. And then I think the legs are a little bit small too, but that might be fairly accurate. I could not tell you. And they both use the same crotch piece inherently, but of course you got different type designs, as his just have like red boxes, I guess you could say. And ooh, I did not test the knees out on this bad boy at all, because they are a little stiff as I pinch my finger in the fucking middle of his knee there, but it does bend, just a little stiff on that. So you might have to bend it with both fingers, I don't know, but oh Jesus Christ, like I can get it to bend with one hand, but that thing is stiff. So might have a little bit of an issue with that as far as the knees go. But honestly, pretty solid figure. You got basic black boots. They rotate fairly fine, at least when I was rotating it a second ago. Yeah, there we go. It's rotating just fine. The ankle rotates even better than that, because the boot is somehow stiffer on the leg than the ankle is on the ankle peg. Because, they do use a different peg now that it's on more of a, ball joint, I guess you could say. I don't know. All around, not terrible figures, but a little bit of quality control issues, you could say. And I guess with that being said, why don't we get them up into their final pose, and, well, we can just kind of talk about some of these quality control issues now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got Gorillas of Destiny getting ready to hit their tag finisher on Jey Uso, what can I really say about these figures? Well, first things first, the Tonga Loa honestly is pretty damn good. I love the formula. I love how big he looks, especially knowing that he's a fairly big dude on TV as well. And it captures that here in figure form, especially when you compare him next to Tomma Tonga, who looks a little bit smaller than I think he should, but not as small. Like, maybe it's just the legs and the arms. Not the biggest ordeal, I guess you could say, but it should be a little bit better, especially when you nail this Tonga Loa. How does the Tomma Tonga kind of miss the way it does. I don't know, but the tattoo detail on the Tomma is looking pretty damn good. I love the head scans for both of these. For first time in the line figures, both of these figures are pretty damn good. And I would highly recommend it, especially if you do know how to fix any quality control issues like I do. As I don't know why my phone picked that up, but that was interesting. But yeah, if you know how to fix any quality control issues, along with the fact of dealing with the stiff-ass knees on the Tonga, because God only knows yours may be the same way. Well, honestly, like I said, I would highly recommend these figures. They are both really damn good, and I could see a lot of people making customs out of these, like maybe someone sculpting longer hair on the Tonga, maybe taking away a little bit of that big-ass forehead he has. Though, like I said, I do like the head scan nonetheless. Everything for certain, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, when it comes to a scale of 1 to 10, well, Tonga, he's going to get a good solid 8. A little bit of issues, but nothing too major. And then the Tongaloa, he is going to get a 7 for the quality control issues because of that stiff-ass torso, or waist-like connection there. That will now become loose because I actually had to rotate it, and I think what it was is there was a little bit of glue that leaked from the torso onto the crotch piece, and once I broke the seal of that glue, now that torso is going to be a little bit loose because it was stuck in that position for God knows how long, along with the leg quality control issues. Thankfully, haven't seen that too much when it comes to any recent figures I've gotten, whether it be Ultimate Edition and or Elite. But there has been a few occurrences, I think, and now Tongaloa can consider himself one of them. Of course, the go of botching here in figure form for everybody to see. The legs posing a little bit better now that I've messed around with it off camera, but I'm surely going to have to heat treat it, so 7.5 and a good solid 8 for both of these figures I think worked fairly well for me. And yeah, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, what would I rank them on that Dave Meltzer star rating? The good old 1 to 5 stars, the good old 1 to Young Buck match. Sorry, I kind of had a little pause there. I kind of got lost in my train of thought, thinking about what I would give these guys star-wise. And thinking about the fact that we've got Tonga at 7. I think a good solid 3 out of 5 stars works for him. And then Tongaloa, other way around. You've got a good solid 4 for Tonga and a good solid 3 for Tongaloa. Either way, not bad figures, just a little bit of quality control issues and a little bit of a formula change for Tonga would work. But honestly, if they keep using that formula for Tonga, I can't say I'm going to be hating. It's not like this is going to be a one and done deal. If they come out with more figures for these guys, I'm absolutely gonna buy. And I say it like that just because of the fact that I do love like their work from when they were in Bullet Club back in New Japan, and now we have them here in the WWE. And what's great about that too, just thinking about it, is I think they're being used fairly well. Of course, sadly, Tonga, he's injured. Tongaloa just came back from injury, if I recall correctly. But at the end of the day, I think they're being used fairly well. Already a former set of tag champions. Got them guys under the SmackDown Tag Team Championship representation. And yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's just all solid. But, you know, speaking of solid, I think it would be fairly solid if you guys could like the video, if you guys would like. You know, it would be a major help if you guys could. But if you guys also like the video and you would like to, feel free to check out some of my other content. Of course, if you don't, womp womp, I guess. But if you guys would like to, I did just upload a video about an hour ago. The Coliseum Collection 2-pack of Bam Bam and Big Boss Man. We've got an Ultimate Edition Seth Rollins review. We've got a little bit of tag team pick fed action there. We've got a CM Punk Ultimate Edition review, Stone Cold Ultimate. We've got the TMNT Cody, and just a bunch of other shish. If you scroll through the line, I'm sure there's something you may want to watch, including an unboxing that I had from 3 months ago. That's crazy. 3 months later, almost at 400. Speaking of that, if you guys wouldn't mind, feel free to subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe, and we are 6 away from 400 subscribers. As you can see, the refresh will tell you it is at 394. So if you guys could, feel free to share this with your grandmother, your grandfather, your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, your dog, your cat, your best friend, your goldfish. I don't give a fuck who you share this with. Just share it with someone who does like wrestling figure content, as I feel like they may enjoy this kind of content as well. I've got a little bit of a sailor's mouth on me, and I'm not afraid to hide it just because of YouTube monetization. Of course, at the end of the day, though, it would be good to get paid nonetheless, but that's whatever. I digress. And yeah, we are going to get out of here, so have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I am not in your time zone, but if I were, would I like to be there? I don't know. Hopefully it's just not in like inner city Chicago maybe, or some shit like that. But honestly, at the end of the day, what's great is that I have all of you fans to thank for keeping me going with the subscribing, the liking, the viewing. Everything all mixed together is what keeps this channel going. So thank you all for watching. And on that note, deuces, ooses, bye. Yay!